Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's session. And I hope you all are doing great. Those who are new to my channel, a very warm welcome to all of you. Please hit the like, share, subscribe button for getting notified for more such videos that I post mostly on a weekly basis. So, with that, let's get started with our session today. So, today I'm going to talk about a very interesting topic in Sterling B2B Integrator. And let me quickly share my screen and okay, all right. So, so far we have all heard about terminologies like SaaS or software as a service. We have heard about integration as a service, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, PaaS, right? Those kind of terminology. How many of you who are working in EDI, especially installing B2B integrator, has heard about something called business process as a service or BPaaS? I hope not many of you, right? Now, typically, as you must be knowing, folks who are working in Sterling B2B Integrator, that there are two key components within Sterling Integrator that are used to achieve a specific use case. These are the very high level two major components. One is the business process, which is nothing but actually implementation of your business logic into a workflow. All right. And the second important thing are maps, which is used to translate of incoming or outgoing file from one format to another format, considering the fact that different system understands different file formats. Now, having said that, based on our day-to-day work, typically the way you invoke a business process is either bootstrapping that business process to a mailbox on a file arrival. So let's say a file arrives or is placed by an external trading partner to a mailbox, and that can automatically invoke a business process which is bootstrapped to that, and then it executes all its steps, which are a combination of services and adapters to achieve a specific business functionality. There might be another scenario where it might be a file system location where an application is sending or dropping a file, and then there is a business process that gets invoked as soon as the file comes into a file system. Okay. Or the other way that you can think of where you can invoke a business process is maybe you have set up a HTTPS server adapter, and there is a HTTPS endpoint which is exposed, and for this is specifically for scenarios where you need real-time responses. Let's say for an insurance industry, uh, when a patient goes to a pharmacy and provides credit, their medical insurance card, the pharmacy technician, they typically use those details to quickly check with the specific insurance provider what is the eligibility of that patient based on the insurance plan that he or she on. And this is a real time request because the patient is waiting in the pharmacy for getting his prescriptions filled or refilled, right? So typically in like this is just one use case where I'm mentioning they use real-time request response where there is an HTTPS call, and the HTTPS server adapter is configured for receiving that request and then sending a response back in the same session. So these are some. So this is also like can invoke a business process within Sterling B2B integrator. Now, having that context in our mind, the concept that we are going to talk today is about business process as a service in Sterling Integrator. This is something that is introduced in very recent versions, last couple of versions, which is actually gives you a cloud-like flexibility on your own Sterling B2B integrator platform. So what it does is that you can create a business process or develop a business process. You can expose that business process functionality as API endpoints or application programming interface uh, endpoints. So what it happens is that it allows the external entities or any program or applications to be able to uh, call that endpoint or through API like REST API calls, and then be able to invoke the business process as long as they have proper permissions, proper um, set of rules set up. They should be able to invoke that business process and then be able to achieve certain responses back. And in this case, you don't have to configure the BP queuing mechanism within the business process, and this is ideal for automation, right? Where you're automating different workflows and also integrating with different digital ecosystems or partners in real time. And as you can easily understand, that it supports synchronous processes for real time transactions. So uh, the next uh, going further deep dive into this topic, how does this business process as a service works? Like what are the API invocations or configurations that we need to do, right? Now you have to define which business process has to be mapped to which API. Then the second thing is you have to set the permissions for the users, right? What they can do with this API endpoint, what are the permissions that they have, and also what are the controls or what are the methods that they can use, like either it's a post or it's a get or it's both of them, right? What are the methods that are allowed, and the request has to be authenticated. The headers and the payload go straight into the business process as an inbound payload, and then you decide what goes back in the response, right? So it's very powerful and highly configurable or customizable. So having said that, if you see, I have given like what how would a typical REST API endpoint look like. So it will be like slash BPaaS slash V1 slash the API name, right? So let's say over here I've given like payment processing, and I'm going to share the specific link to the documentation if you want to like read more in detail in the Sterling integrated documentation. The authentication can be a Sterling B2B integrator username password, like a basic authentication. As I mentioned, uh, you have to like configure certain things, like so you have to add certain parameters in the BPaaS mapping dot properties file, right, at the server level. And also you have to define what kind of actions are supported, whether it's a get, post, put, delete, right? These are all configurable per API. Typically the request response design, as you know, the process data is in XML best, right? And the custom response headers and status codes are also possible. So as I mentioned, it is highly powerful, highly configurable concept within Sterling B2B integrator. Now, the key benefits and best practices of business process as a service. So, the real advantage of BPaaS or business process as a service is how much faster you can enable new integrations and automate complex B2B transactions. With the right configuration, you get secure, logged, and highly available services. You can adjust the timeouts and thread limits based on your environment's demand, and always audit your own integrations for security. Remember, good BP and permissions design are critical for the reliability. All right. So this is what I've mentioned over here also, like the quick customization. There's a performance tuning concept where you can control the API timeouts, the rate limiting, like how many API calls can be allowed within a specific time frame, the response behaviors, and the role based access and permissions, and you can also audit the logs. The logs are stored in a specific log file for all BPaaS actions. Now quickly I want to share the page that I'm referring to. So this is the documentation page, where if you go under 621 version or even 620 as well, within the business process documentation, there's a specific category called business processes service, and it has more details like what are the considerations for configuring BPaaS, how do you configure, like it has more setup related informations. And then if you are using certified containers based installation, how to configure the BPaaS within certified containers. The what are the configuration properties in the property file, as I mentioned, the error codes, different kind of response codes, the logging part of it, where does the log files get stored, right? And what are the file look like, things like that, right? And then there's an auditing part, where, as I mentioned, like how to audit, right? What would be typical audit file look like, right? So this is related to business process. Very powerful if you have use cases where you can have to expose your business process as a REST API endpoint. This is something that you should definitely consider integrating within your ecosystem. So with that, I hope this topic was useful. I'll try to see if I can make if I can actually create something like that and showcase maybe in one of my next video to show the hands-on, like how to achieve this. Please feel free to put your comments in the feedback. Also, for folks who are listening to this session, I also have created like I've seen so many questions back and forth in different YouTube videos. So thought like maybe I'll create a LinkedIn public group specifically to talk, share, and have some conversation around EDI, MFT, and any kind of integration related discussions. So for that, if you see over here, when I go to my LinkedIn page, I have created a LinkedIn group. So if you go to this group, please feel free to join this group. We can have some meaningful conversations and also share ideas and learn from each other, right, as a community. So the group name is called EDI, MFT, and Integration Insights. And you can join this group. People are already started joining the group, and I have started a specific topic around agentic AI, whether it's going to replace traditional ED or not, right? Feel free to put your comments over here, what your thoughts are. Let's discuss, and I'm going to like share more topics as we move along. So just letting you know that this group exists. I've created this today itself, so feel free to join and participate. With that, I'm going to conclude today's video. Please like, share, subscribe for getting notified for more such videos and ideas, right? Please share your ideas of what kind of things that you want to learn or that I can help like creating videos of. So yeah, until then, take care, and I see you in next video.